InShalla and Ashe, blessings to you. Thanks for joining me. I'm Tonya D. Welcome to my daily snippet. It's Friday. It's August 6th. Sometimes I think about doing a weekend snippet all at once, but actually for now I'm on the daily. So did anybody get struck by love yesterday? It's kind of still in the flow. And I'm super excited because we're on our way to this lion kind of gate. If you tried the link and there was an error, all this techie stuff gets a little squirrel-like sometimes. But I'll put another link in the comments. But today we're actually in the cosmic energy of upcycling our perspective, getting some innovative thoughts that might appear or look otherworldly. I'm in the middle of doing my TikTok, my weekend roll, my divination, and it actually came up there as well. So you really can't make this shift up, but I'll get to the element or the cosmic energy a little later. Let's muse about the element of the day. We have a yang fire or a being day master, the dog on the branch, which is Zhu. These, sometimes I wish I could really write in Chinese. I've been watching Badlands, and it's the writing is just fascinating. But with back to my show, the yin element, the yin energy. So we still have a lot of that yin, both on the branches and on the stems. So we need a lifestyle, or we need to upgrade our lifestyle to create the balance, to bring in the balance. So lifestyle could also be our living style. So bringing in the yang energy of wood or of nature. You could bring in both wood and water, but this, for today, the fire energy is weak. It really doesn't have anything around it. It's not really weak. I mean, it does have the wood right next to it on the month, but all of that earth energy kind of sucks the life out of the fire. So there's kind of resource. That's what the wood is. It's resource and support right next to it on the month. So that would tell me that the parents are very supportive of this person if this was a real person. But we also have, all that earth on the branches, and we're just missing the dragon. So the dragon hour would be really intense today. It creates, I forget the word for it, but when you have all four of the earth elements, it feels really heavy and dense. But don't panic. It's just a moment to take a serious pause, or be in the pause. The yang fire energy, or the element, and I'm always talking about energy. I'm not really a doctor, but I am a doctor in the medicine world, or the shaman kind of aspect, the witchy talk. But so yang fire is actually the energy of the small intestine. So this person energetically could have issues absorbing nutrients in the body. It shows up as wrinkles actually on the forehead. Different wrinkles actually carry different elements as well, just depending if they're going vertical, horizontal, if they're fine line kind of wrinkles or deep wrinkles. So they each have a different affluence and influence. But today I would use the energy of nature to absorb the nutrients from earth and to also control it, break up the earth in a way. So this person with all that earth, performs naturally. Earth is performance to a fire because it's day master. But with so little fire, you might run out of steam or energy. So it's like the stomach, the spleen, or even the pancreas issues, lymphatic issues, maybe toxicity of the skin, acne, eczema, or even a combination of both fire and earth, like creating this psoriasis, eczema kind of thing. Healthy eating, totally. I would probably stick with healthy eating, mostly vegan if this was me in my chart. No sugar, absolutely for sure. Earth actually, you might crave sugar, but energetically it depletes because you've already got the elements sitting there. So sweets would not be recommended if this was a client I was working with. Gemstones to wear for a fire person, it's red rubies or even emeralds, fire and wood. The first color, would be red, mostly because a fire person has hidden fire, but it's not seen. It's hidden in the branches there. And secondary colors would be like purples and pinks. That would actually be the southwest area of the home in the south, the elementals. Or you could bring in wood colors. So, of course, greens, any shade of green, really. Except I would stick with more of the blue greens, not the yellow earth greens, because we want to stay away from that. And even blue itself is a secondary color to the element of nature or wood. So I talked about nature of the element of wood, or at least I think I did yesterday, to support of our day element. So we can use the support system of wood to bring energy actually to the day. That's our day master. So this would be like ideas and kindness. It's growth, expansion, it's yang. So anything that would light up your day. Our person is a fire person for today, the energy. So fire can be warm, it clarifies, it even comforts. So I myself, I love sitting by a crackling fire or, and I have a chart literally full of fire. It can sometimes feel overwhelming. I have little tidbits of other elements, but I'm predominantly fire, which is curious, really, but fire can also burn and also destroy. So we've seen this all the way in nature around us as well, or even in the concrete jungle too. We're all praying for rain in all of those areas. I've seen Turkey, like I've had fires in Salt Lake. There's kind of little fire tidbits everywhere. That's kind of the negative side of a fire. But actually, every time we burn things away, we have new growth. It's just the cycle of it. But fire can also illuminate. It can bring light to any situation. It can also create explosive actions. So fire people are generally leaders, motivators. They're take charge kind of people. They're charismatic, very, very self-driven, passionate. If nothing's going on, they kind of ignite the spark to create something. They'll like get the candle burning, but hopefully not at both ends. Change is a theme. It's a predominant theme, actually. Often, they leap before they look, creating either great success or actually problems, discourse. But they often like to be the center of attention. So just imagine where in your life you might need to utilize actually the element of fire. So for me, this is my day-to-day. I bring in the element of water really to balance all the fire and support my day being elementally. So the elements really play a role. You just have to think outside the box is kind of what I sense. But now for the cosmic energy, which, how do we upcycle our perspective? So our mind is truly online today. It's the one thing that can overrule, override, ignore, even really go against our most inner desires, our wishes, and even our dreams. All of those juicy things that really can light up our heart. If you woke up today and you felt lost, maybe detached or cold or alone even, that's kind of a ramification of putting all of our attention in our beingness in our mind. So, today's a day to set out and be mindful of our heart. It's super easy to go off and absorbing all of this mental acuity, leaving the main aspect of our heart like offline, like it's not on the grid. So how does that look? Have you ever noticed how if you go against the wishes of your heart, or if you're listening to someone and you're like, no, they aren't being mindful, how you really kind of take a breath, or you sigh or do something like that, and in your heart ultimately it doesn't feel right. It might just be me, but I always like to take a breath and also take a pause. And what we want to do, if we have an understanding of a way our heart needs to be loved in the day-to-day, that's kind of how we be mindful of our heart. It's like, how do we understand the needs of our heart in the day-to-day? Whether it's something you want to eat or something you want to buy, like what really be mindful of your heart, something you want to do, actually. So how do we cherish our heart? So it's like when somebody gives you a gift, and I think about this all the time, not really all the time, but Now, usually if someone truly knows you and they give you a gift, they give you a true gift, or they give you the gift that their heart wants. And we do this all the time. Have you ever noticed that when you go shopping, it's easy to see what your heart wants, and you might actually get it to give it to somebody else, another person? It's true. We all kind of do this. Like, think about Christmas when you're out shopping for gifts. You buy yourself a gift and you buy somebody else a gift. It's almost like your heart doesn't want to not have the gift that it's giving or something. But today's the day to be more clear on the details, be more specific. Aim to really be curious and find out a new world way perspective, a new innovative light to like shine on, a beacon. Could be a philosophy, different approach, whatever. To the quality of pure essence, the pure essence of love in your love story, your daily love story. So let's say that you have this old approach of what love is. So we're going to upcycle the old approach. It's time. We got to shift this narrative in those chambers of our mind. So hopefully we have this self-realization that our heart space, our heart center belongs with having more fun, excitement, passion, even entertainment, than anything that we've ever explored or experienced in the past. It's also kind of like an examination day of our mind actually exploring our inner heart, what that feels like. So our mind often never thinks of our heart. That's why being mindful truly is a thing. So being mindful of the heart today. So our mind usually neglects the needs of our heart. When we think or even make plans, does your heart really want to go to the bar? Does your heart really want to go to that friend's house? Or, does the heart really want to do an online dating site? The issue might just be that our mind actually neglects to include the heart's needs and desires in life altogether in this cosmic soup. Then what happens is we wake up one day with our heart online with our mind, and actually that's what today is. So just notice where your mind skips like a rock going over a lake over your heart throughout the day today. So today is actually this kind of energy. Our heart's going to be sensitive. We have the moon in Cancer, so our feelings are online. So it's going to feel left behind or even neglected. So if you catch your mind undercutting your heart, or undercutting's not the word I want, but underscoring the heart, it's like it's putting logic before love in your personal life story with your heart, your love story, your personal love story. So pour that intuitive love into your story today and navigate your mind. What should your mind be talking or taking with your heart? What's the conversation in the moment? So the heart would kind of be our judge, not the mind. And the heart will kind of judge the success of what the story is, the narrative. So I would say find an upcycled perspective, an intellectual one even, of love. A different eye view, God's view. I'm seeing like the eye of God. Those eyes got God's eyeglasses, actually. So in your daily love story, just really upcycle those thoughts. Choose different words that elevate your love story today. Shifting the words, the narratives in thoughts, or even, out loud, your outside voice. My inside voice is going off all the time. It's almost too much. But you kind of want to be that mirror of reflection to this higher elevated state of love in your love channel and your personal sacred space. It can be a radical shift, getting it really in the process, shifting, getting in the flow, innovating an upcycled perspective. So what's kind of happening is all of this old thinking, these old ways of communication and thoughts of yourself on your day-to-day they're breaking down the narrative, making room for this new inner brilliance, this new inner light, to have upgraded these realizations. This even came out in my cowrie shells, which I'm not quite finished yet, but I'm working on it. So it's like this lightning rod or electricity, these sparks that are they're getting ignited. So just know that your heart truly does belong in a higher state of love, creativity, and joy. It's the other side of the coin. And then on the other side of the coin, because there's always two sides, right? We have the time and the energy, it's the time and the energy that we kind of put into our love story. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily meet our intention. So take the time, add some colorful herbs, some finesse to it, some color to all of those definitions. Like, we all have a different perspective. So truly, what is joy to you? What is love to you? What is happiness to you? And we can all do our own assessment of what we actually put time and energy into. It'd be a great day to literally ground into the element. I would literally possibly still go back out my mainframe. It says I'm still online over there. I'm telling you, one day I'll figure this out. But, okay, so, clear away toxicity. And with all the earth energy, the elemental energy on the day pillar, that's true. So, just allow the elements that you ground into today to just absorb all of those negative energies within your environment, just like shedding them like skin off of your energetic field. And it's easy to bring in information up from the subconscious mind and access our intuition. Our solar plexus is online today, so you could chant the seed sound of the solar plexus. I know I've forgotten that in the last few snippets, but Ram, when you say it, it's the ah in father. So it's Ra, like you're saying father. I would probably minimum chant that at least 3 times. Ram, and hold the tonality as long as your breath can. It'll open up that gateway for you, that pathway. You can wear all shades of yellow like the sun. I have yellow on, which personally I don't feel like yellow is my best color, but it is what it is. Yellow foods, stuff like that. The angelic beings of today, I still have Raziel in the show notes, but that's just for the whole Leo season. And then we have Zadkiel. Zadkiel is the righteousness of God. It's authentic, true forgiveness of ourselves and others. And it becomes authentic forgiveness becomes a form of compassion. And compassion is more of an act of reaching out, not just to yourself, but also to others. And it reduces those feelings of discomfort and adversity. How often have you truly forgiven yourself or others and also been super self-compassionate to your story? Just kind of muse on that for a minute. So this angelic being really assists us in getting from the past in forgiveness, those times of trouble, memories, not so positive memories, obviously, emotional pain, discomfort. So if you feel like you can't forgive, call in this archangel. He also works with our channels of our mind. I'd still call in Uriel today to really bring in those innovative upcycling, otherworldly moments, the lightning, I got struck by lightning kind of moments, creative insights, just truly upcycling your thoughts, your narrative, those thoughts that are truly no longer serving you, just thinking outside of the box. There's another cool archangel. Actually, it's an angelic being. Ambriel is the communicator. So it's the bridge between people. It's one of the most, it's kind of this fundamental core aspect of our human experience is the bridging that gap. So it's like arts and philosophy and history that all embody the way that we actually reach out to each other. And right now I feel like history is like, we're reliving aspects of history, but yet we're also coming out of the closet of the historical stories that really aren't the history. It's like a narrative that wasn't authentic. So with that, when we reach out to each other through time and even space, because that's kind of what's happening really in the world, this connection really, it kind of cuts both ways. It moves both ways, leaving people that are deeply attuned to it become extremely sensitive to the world around them. So this angelic being, this Ambriel, it doesn't exist in a single place, but more in the hearts and the minds of those that truly understand the nature of it, all of it. This archangel is actually ruled by Mercury, and that's really what Mercury does. Mercury, as an understanding, can go anywhere and any when, whether it's the underworld, the upper world, the outer world, like anywhere and everywhere. So, how does it through the flavor, Mercury, through the flavor of our signs, the house, just whatever sign Mercury's in. That's how the flavor of your Mercury behaves. Say that 5 times for each and every one of us. So it's a different aspect. Also, later on today, you might find that you're forced into honoring your worth, your own inner self-worth, upping your value. Your soul value. Seeking to, discover an expression that's new in your heart space. You might want to ask yourself if you've been selling yourself short. Feel into it. And more importantly, shine your inner brilliance outward, your own inner light, your prime directive, your story, your narrative. So I'm super kind of excited about the card for today. Give me a minute. So this is fun. I kind of had a hard time doing it. But this comes from the Moon deck, the Moon Woman deck, actually. It's circular. So it was kind of fun. And here we go. Let me get rid of this. Dun, 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 dun. There you go. So it's a really cool card. Interesting as well. It means the avatar, the ruler of the elements, this avatar. So I kind of love that already because we are really all of the elements: air, fire, water, earth, nature, star, light, sound, ether, stone, and so much more, right? I talk about these in both Love the Skin You're In and also Uncover the Secrets of the Other World and Change Your Stars. It's kind of a foundation to grounding, in my perspective, the elemental world. So we're all spirit in ourself, in itself, and we're connected to all of these elements in our bodies. We're one with creation. You could also be light as the wind, air, hot as fire, flowing like water, fertile like the earth. Fertile is more than just the womb baby, right? There's different kinds of fertility. So, just seeing beauty all around us and also within us. I truly believe beauty resides within all of us. It's just shaped differently. So we can renew this aspect and time again, just over and over again, and just learn to see that on the inside of us and also on the outside, that we're all one. We are one, the oneness. And I kind of like that. What's interesting is to feel, into that and what that is. Beauty is health made visible. So it truly is. That was one of my narratives from the skincare line I use. The affirmation, I would say, is that was my goal, honestly, was bring that inner beauty on the outside through the skin, because the skin will tell us the story if we look into it. Different affirmations for today is something like, I am mindful of my heart and knowing where I no longer belong. Sometimes that's hard. I get into places where I know I don't belong there, and sometimes I just leave just because the feeling I get, I know I don't belong. Or I am connected to my channel. I'm detaching from where I no longer belong or I don't belong. And I think my favorite one of the day is, I am upcycling my frequencies to a perspective that is all loving. So make sure you say those today, and InShalla and Ashe. God, I hope that worked. Blessings to you.